Good morning, everybody. This is Bob Scott from Home Care Assistance, Local Living Legends, coming to you live from Willow Springs Rehab, where we are doing our first episode ever of Local Living Legends. Now, Local Living Legends is a show that we put together because in our community we have amazing seniors that have lived amazing lives. And while I've been doing home care, I've learned that their stories are something that we need to learn from and we need to really respect. And I think it's time that we share them with everybody out there. So what we're going to do in our show is we're going to be pinpointing some employees. We're going to be talking to some special guests that are strong players in our community. And we're going to give you the answers that you're really looking for when it comes to our senior community right here in Ocean County. So without any further ado, this beautiful young lady next to me has been chosen to be our employee spotlight here at Willow Springs. And this is Jenny Campbell. Jenny,
hello,
welcome.
Good morning.
Jenny is our activities director here at Willow Springs. And, you know, I got to tell you, I've toured this building. This building is phenomenal. All the staff here are amazing, all the way from the top to all of the aides. The rehab center that I see downstairs is incredible. I've been trying to get my aides to come in here to get trained in how well they do it here. So it's fantastic. But as an activities director in a facility where you have long-term and you have short-term care, I'm sure that there's a lot of challenges, but I'm sure it's also very rewarding. And so what is it about your position that really excites you?
Well, just every day. I mean, I'm new to being the activity director here. I started out here as an activity assistant and moved on to the assistant director, and now I'm the director. And just every day trying to think of new things to stay current with the residents and getting their feedback and just being with them every day.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So this is funny to me because it seems like you're pretty comfortable in front of all these seniors, but you hate this, don't you?
Yeah, I do not like speaking. When I was in high school, I would do everything to get out of talking about a presentation, take points off, anything to not be put on the spot to talk.
So then we're going to do that in our first episode. That's nice of us. You know, we put you on the spot. You're doing
anything
great.
for my residents.
Now, so let's talk about you saying back in high school when you were younger. What's another job? You know, tell me about an unusual or interesting job that you had before you did this.
Before here, I worked at Rita's Italian Ice for about quite a few years. I was a shift supervisor, so I learned the ins and outs of making the ice and doing all that, and it was cool.
Yeah, a little different.
Summer job, part-time, yeah.
So now, and how did you said that you've worked here for a few years before you became the activity director?
Yes.
And so when that position became available to you, all right, was this something that you were looking to? Were you always in activities for the most part, or what?
Back when I was younger, my mom was an activity assistant, and she used to take me volunteering. And when I was 13, for my 13th birthday, I got my first volunteer badge at a nursing home. And you had to be 14 to volunteer, but I got a badge, and it was like my favorite gift ever.
Oh, wow.
So I volunteered, and then in high school, I volunteered on my own. I was in different key clubs and multicultural clubs and volunteered. And then my friend here was a CNA and actually got me a part-time position here.
Wow.
And I worked like twice a week, 11 to 7 I would work whenever shifts were available. And then I eventually grew to become, when Willow Springs took over, I took over full-time.
And, you know, it's funny you say that when Willow Springs took over, because this is, you know, for those of you that are watching this, right, this facility, this building has been here quite a long time.
Yeah.
However, Willow Springs has really, what I would say, brought it back to life.
Absolutely. And
made a big change. And Marquee, yes, it's not just this building. No. So talk to me about Marquee. How many buildings are there with Marquee?
I believe it's 18 facilities. I could be wrong currently right now, yeah.
And if I'm correct, this one right here is how many stars?
I want to say 5 stars.
The 5-star. And to be 5 stars, that really means that you're taking that from a resident standpoint as well as a community, as well as a rehab. You're doing it on the up and up. And you know, that's something that we talk about a lot. And when I met with you, when I met with Kathy and everybody over here, what I love is that it is from the heart.
Yeah.
And I see everybody out there, and I know that you guys really do care about your activity director. And you care about this facility, and you know it can be rare. And when I was walking around this place as a tour, from a standpoint of you know, I want to team up with facilities that I feel okay about my customers going into. There's a 2 type of feelings you get. One is the one where you're like, ooh, and then there's that one where you're like, wow, this is a wow facility. So you guys do a great job. I want to congratulate you on that. What is your proudest moment here at Willow's?
I would have to say finally becoming a certified activity director. I completed my course back in May, and I finally got certified about a month ago.
Wow.
And getting promoted to being the activity director here.
So certified. So, I mean, you know, I'm sure a lot of people out there have no idea that there's a certification to be an activities director.
Yes, it's equal to about 2 years. There's 2 courses you take, and they're both about 10 months long.
Okay.
And after completion of those, there will be a national exam you have to take. I'm working in the process of taking my national exam. And then once I get that next certification, I'm going to move on to hopefully more certifications.
Wow. That's awesome. All right. So now I'm sorry. I have one more. What's something non-Willows related that maybe the residents would like to know about you, Jenny?
One of my biggest hobbies is running, and always has been. I've always been into cross country and track. In high school, I got to go with my team to Disney World for a big state competition. Wow. In middle school, I was ranked like 8th out of like 400 in the state.
Whoa.
I first completed a Tough Mudder this year, which was a 10-mile, 20-obstacle course. And I got to do it with my dad.
Oh, that's
which was super awesome. And I'm looking forward to doing more of those.
Wow. That's
sharing
awesome.
That with them.
Well, Jenny, I want to thank you for spending time with us. Congratulations on your spotlight. We hope to get you back very soon. Let's hear it for Jenny. Excellent job.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a quick minute, and then I'm going to get up our local living legend. Bob, we're going to get you up here, and I can't wait to hear more about you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome back to Local Living Legend. We're here at Willow Springs here in Brick, and I'm really excited because the show is called Local Living Legend, and it is time to get our local living legend who was elected to be our very first resident spotlight, Mr. Bob Joseph Deverman McCowan.
Correct.
Wow. That is a name, but I'm just going to call you Bob because it's a great name.
That's fine.
And so, you know, this legend next to me is a military vet. He was born in the Bronx. He lived in Queens. And he's got something in common with one of my partner. He's a big Bruce Springsteen fan. Is that true?
Absolutely.
Big Bruce fan. And we're going to learn a little bit about Bob. And, you know, the whole point of this show is that, Bob, it's people like you that have shaped our work ethic and the way that we need to be. And it's my job with this show to share stories like yours with the rest of the community, because in what I've learned is that I learned the way I am from my grandfather and my father.
Right.
And I want this world and people that maybe don't have that opportunity to learn those stories, to learn from some legends like yourself. All right. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself? I mean, so you grew up, how long were you always in New York? When did you get into Jersey?
I moved into upstate New York in Carmel, and that was I was a junior in high school. And my father was a police officer in New York.
Police officer.
Right. So he was there for 30 years. So we kept kind of bouncing around, but eventually we moved up state into Jersey, basically when I was a teenager, finishing high school. And I've been in Jersey, close to 30 years.
30 years?
30 years.
Wow.
And I've been in healthcare for those 30 years.
You've been in healthcare. So what did you do?
I was a facility manager over housekeeping, engineering, landscaping, laundry, the maintenance. There was quite a few. I was in the circle.
Wow. And so, you know, so your father was a policeman.
Correct.
And I believe your grandfather was also a policeman.
Yes, he was.
So was this something that you ever thought about doing, being a policeman?
It's something I absolutely wanted to do. And my father was totally against it.
Really?
Because the violence started to pick up. And he said the legend of following each other is not important because it's getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
So I went into part-time job, full-time jobs, minimal jobs, and then went into healthcare.
That's great. And so let's talk about, so what was your, because the big thing is the history. But so, you got into healthcare, but there must have been a couple jobs before that. Can you tell me, what was your first job, Bob?
My first job was being in movie theater.
Oh, yeah?
Right. And I was an assistant manager there up in Carmel, New York. And that eventually, then I became, while I was doing that, I had long hair.
Oh, yeah?
Didn't graduate directly from high school. I was not a good kid. Okay, let's put it that way. I wasn't a good kid.
We're going to get back to that in a second.
So my father said he was a very strict man, very good man. And he said, "You're 18 now. You think you're a big man? Now show you're a big man." Oh. So I actually had 3 jobs at one time.
And how old were you then?
19.
19, 3 jobs.
Right. I had the movie theater, and then when the movies ended and everything, I had to clean the entire facility. And on the weekends, I did both. And also, I was in concrete at buildings.
Wow.
To get them started and everything. So I was actually doing 3 jobs when I was 19, just so I could get a place to live. Back then, it was a little bit easier to get a job than it is now. But everything I did, I liked.
Yeah.
My father was against it, saying, "You won't get anywhere. You won't get anywhere doing those kind of jobs." And then over the years, I finally got him to respect me, what I was doing. And when he passed away, this medal is given to every police officer that passes the academy.
Okay.
And it's St. Michael, which is the protector of safes, all the people. Yeah. And on the bottom, when they graduate, it says faith until death. And it says 1969. I wear it. He left it to me. I don't have any sons, so I will leave it to one of my daughters and keep that family tradition going.
Family values, yes.
And always remember him.
Yeah. No, it sounds like your dad was a great man. You're a great man.
He was.
And I love, the piece of advice that you would give. You mind if I read this here? Because and this is something that, it doesn't matter what part of life you're at. It's a great thing to say. If you were pushed 1 step back tomorrow, take 2 steps forward, and eventually you're going to get where you have to be.
Correct.
So I want to end here with the three adjectives that you use to describe yourself. And I will tell you, after meeting you, I think that they're pretty perfect, except for I didn't see this one. So he says talkative, I can see it. He says grateful, I can see it. Stubborn? Are you a stubborn man, Bob?
I don't think so.
You wrote it. I didn't make this up.
Yeah, but I mean, at certain times, yes, but.
Well, then I'm going to change it. And I'm going to go talkative, grateful, and legendary. Thank you very much for being our first living legend. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Give him a round of applause. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Before we get to our expert guest today, I just want to tell you a little bit about something that's happening in Willow Springs. This is April 19th, which is a very important day, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But April 19th, and I saw this man speak. Dr. Schuheim is actually going to be speaking here. And Dr. Schuheim is an amazing expert when it comes to dementia and Alzheimer's disease, and he talks about the disease with 2 victims. And I'm telling you, if you know somebody who is suffering from dementia, or if you just want to learn more about the disease, this is a phenomenal thing to come to. It's open to the public. You just have to RSVP. And I'm also happy because before Dr. Schuheim speaks, Fran Pennell is going to come from the Caregiver Volunteers of Central Jersey, and she's going to speak to us about the power of music. I've seen this seminar, and it's fantastic. And music is a big part of everybody's life, and it's the one thing that can bring us all together, in my opinion. Speaking of the Caregiver Volunteers of Central Jersey, our guest today is also a partner of mine, because April 19th at Eagle Oaks, we are going to be doing a Dancing with the Stars to raise a lot of awareness and a lot of money for the Caregiver Volunteers of Central Jersey. And Annemarie and I are going to be dancing and winning the competition. We maybe one day we'll give you guys a little taste of what we're doing. We've been practicing. And you can actually go to, it's cbcjdances.com, and you can go there and you can actually vote. And the way that you vote is you buy a vote for $1, and when you buy these votes, they all go to this charity, and that's how we win. So we are asking all of you out there, go to cbcjdances.com and pick Annemarie and Bob. So let's talk about my partner here, Annemarie Schreiber, and I'm not even going to pretend to say the name of your law firm because I can't get it out. So you're going to have to tell them in a second. But Annemarie is an elder attorney, and I'm learning a lot about what an elder attorney is, and what I've learned is the importance of it. And I'm just so honored that you would come and spend time with us. It's a morning, we're a little bit behind, and I just want to make sure that, I appreciate so much you coming out and spending time to teach our community a little bit about what you do. So if you would, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. I am with the law firm of Carluccio, Leone, Diamond, Doyle, and Sachs. I'm located in Toms River. And as Bob mentioned, I'm a certified elder law attorney. What that means is that I specialize in the area of elder law. And although some people may think that elder law just means that I'm dealing with the senior population, that's not really true. I don't help just the senior population. There's a lot of aspects that I deal with. I deal with wills. I deal with trusts. I deal with powers of attorney, advanced medical directives. Some people call them living wills. I deal with guardianships. I deal with Medicare. I deal with Medicaid. So it's a very wide area. And oftentimes seniors may need assistance, but their family members are looking for assistance for their family members.
You got to learn how to protect assets. You got to learn how to protect them, and especially the Medicaid, Medicare, which I always mix up because it's just so confusing. You got Part A, Part B, Part C. You got D and F, and all these things that are happening. Just to understand what your rights are, and why did you get into elder? I mean, were you ever a different type of attorney?
Yes, at one point in time I worked for a law firm that handled a lot of public entities, which that means that I represented the townships. I was a township attorney, for lack of better description. Through that, one of the entities that we represented was called the Ocean County Board of Social Services Adult Protective Service Unit. They advance the care for the elderly and make sure that the elderly are being protected. Through that is how I got introduced to the guardianship work, and that really piqued my interest. Although a lot of attorneys may profess to be able to assist you, being a certified elder law attorney, not only did I take my bar exam, pass my bar exam, I had to take an additional exam. I had to make sure that I had practiced in the area of elder law for at least 5 years.
Wow.
I had to take a whole nother exam, which was just like another bar exam. I have a requirement that I have to continue to take legal education classes in elder law each year.
Wow.
So it is very rigorous, and it's a national certification, just not New Jersey. So it sets me apart in that I've done this extra work. I've honed this skill. So sometimes you may go to an attorney who does a lot of different work, or maybe practices more with, he does criminal defense. A lot of attorneys think that they can prepare a simple will. There's a lot more to a simple will, and there's a lot of laws involved. And today, because of the way the laws have become so specialized, it's very important to go to somebody who specializes in the area you need addressed. So whether it is a criminal attorney or an elder law attorney or somebody for a personal injury matter, it's best to go to that type of attorney that specializes in that area.
Your law firm has everybody. So if you go there and you are speaking to someone and maybe the issue, just because you're a senior doesn't mean that your issue is an elder law issue, but you have specialists in everything. So you're able to steer that person in the right direction.
Bob, you're absolutely correct. We have a lot of attorneys. My firm likes to profess to be a full service law firm. For example, I had an individual who called who needed a new will, but had an accident, had a slip and fall. I'm not going to take him to go to court for him for the slip and fall, but one of my partners in the office will do that.
Well, the word lawyer sometimes is scary. Attorneys are scary, but it's actually, when it's right, it's protecting. And one of the things that I'm hoping that we can make a change is the way that our senior population is being treated in a county that has the highest senior population next to Florida, and we're almost going to take that over. And, these changes can't happen until people get more educated. And I think that that's a part of being an attorney that I think is so noble, is the education that you can give, the reading that you can do, and the translate. Now, Bob, have you ever worked with an elder law attorney?
Well, I have a living will
Okay.
and power of attorney.
Good.
But she will be moving, and she wants to transfer that over. Now, is that something that I can handle, or just agree with her and do it? How is exactly is done? How is that done?
Well, I will tell you, oftentimes your power of attorney or your living will, you name your what's called an agent. That's the first person in line who makes decisions for you. If that agent is unavailable, oftentimes your document has a backup to that person.
Correct.
And if you have a backup,
That's my daughter, right?
so the one who is named first, they can renounce. They can say, I don't want to do this, I'm moving away. But what you need is really some kind of a documentation from that first person. Because if I was a bank and your daughter walked in with a power of attorney, the bank is going to say, well, you're number 2. What happened to number 1?
Right.
Oh, well, she renounced. Here's a letter.
Right.
And I would have that letter notarized just so there's no
That was my other question.
discrepancy.
It has to be notarized.
I would notarize it.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's just a question that you've had, you know what I mean? And this is why
It's happening now.
Yeah, that's
So irrelevant.
good timing. Good
Yeah,
timing,
right.
and so I mean it's important for you guys to know that there are people out there that you can contact and you can ask questions and you can learn from. Annemarie, how do people get in contact with you?
We have our phone number. We have a website.
It's appearing right at the bottom of the screen right now. We'll do that.
Do you want me to?
Yes.
Again, the law firm is Carluccio, Leone, Diamond, Doyle, and Sachs. It is a mouthful.
It rolls right off the tongue.
We're located in Toms River. The phone number is 732-797-1600. And the website is Carluccio, Leone, Diamond, Doyle, and Sachs, or CLDDS.com.
I was going to say, how did you get that domain? I would have figured everybody was fighting for that one for a while.
Yeah.
No, that's fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. And we're going to be dancing April 19th. We're also going to be here. Bob, I can't thank you enough. Jenny, thank you so much. This is our first local living legend. We hope that you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for listening to us. We'll see you all again next month. So long, everybody.